Hi, this is Osman. I'm an energy healer, yoga and meditation teacher, and an entrepreneur. Please also remember to visit my website, yogawellness786.com, for more information about my services and resources in the field of wellness, nutrition, yoga, meditation, and energy healing. As well as understand that our therapies are not a replacement for medical treatment. If you have any medical condition, please consult your doctor or a licensed medical practitioner. Okay. And that being said, I'd like to delve into the field of using yoga, meditation, sciences to can you improve your intellectual capacity, or can you improve your IQ, right? So according to modern day science and science, and I like to temper everything with science as well, and I have to work in accordance with the definitions of science, and from that perspective, and not detract from it. I don't want to detract from the accepted reality of rational thinkers, or the majority of rational thinkers of the day, right? So it is impossible to increase your IQ, so to speak, right? There are very rare exceptions, but there isn't any system or strategy in space that can improve your IQ level from what it is to something significantly higher. That being said, what yoga and meditation science does is it does in one perspective, the way to explain it, it increases your IQ, but in a certain sense, yes and no, right? So how yes and no? So in terms of your capacity, your intellectual capacity, you're going to be on that level of what your IQ is, right? And it's very difficult to evolve beyond that. But what we say yes as well, because every human has a capacity. You can learn and you can improve, right? So is someone cursed to ignorance all their life, or a certain level? Even people with psychological disorders that have a psychological handicap, right? Like Down syndrome, and certain they can learn strategies on how to overcome that. Like you get OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. People learn how to manage, and overcome it, and learn to um, find a way to work in and be normal, right? Or come close to normal as possible. In that sense, you can develop. So how can it be used to develop to your advantage? So you can improve your creativity function. The balance between your right brain and your left brain can be improved. So let me talk from my perspective, right? From my personal experience. Just by practicing the yoga postures, I improve my state of balance, even keeled mind, and improve my focus. And I wanted to excel academically. I had a weakness in academic studies in my junior primary school years, during my preteen years, right? When I was around 8 years and 9 years old, I wasn't the brightest of students in my class in school. I went to a public school where there were, a number of students, average 30 students in a class. So I wasn't even the average, and I would safely say not even below average, below that, right? Below average. But I had dreams, I had big dreams, and I wanted to achieve higher things, and I knew that it's not going to come by automatically. I'm going to have to study very hard, right? So, but together with my very consistent studies, I consistently practice yoga and meditation and the yoga sciences throughout, right? And when I reached, we'll say, senior high, my last 3 years of high school, before I could graduate high school, there was a fellow colleague, a fellow student, was with me from grade 1, from the beginning of school. And we were in the same class until, we reached senior high, or the last 3 years of high school. Or I was around, let's say, 15, 16 years old at the time. And asked me a question: how did you become intelligent? I was extremely offended at that time at that question. I was disgusted that I heard her speak such a question to me. I said, no, I don't know. I mean, I did not know how to answer it. And I just said, no, I just studied hard, And of course, I did not answer a question. But looking back retrospectively now, right? Now it's several decades later. And I look back at reality, and one who is, not very bright, right? I mean, possibly, the reason I beat some of the pupils is because I attended the one thing different or unique was I was not absent from school, right? I attended every class. I was there every day. I won the certificate of attendance always, not necessarily, any other certificate. And slowly I noticed, if I look back, that I improved in my level from coming out in the 20s, of the class position in terms of academic performance out of 30. My position rose to the teens, 17, 16, and then up to the 13s as the years progressed. So it wasn't up and down. It was a definite progression of the graph, right? And coming up into the top 10, and then the top 5, and going to the university, performing very high levels that incomparable, in the country as well, as an adult later on, doing board exams, getting the highest in my country, that no one could be able to beat the record, because I got 100% through some very stringent board exams that had various levels, like 5 levels, and all 5 levels getting 100% on them as well. So would I consider myself very intelligent? No. I still consider myself, among those that are not very bright, right? I still believe I'm that person, right? Not very bright, because despite being such high intellectual capacity from an academic point of view, my mother rightly put it, I would say. Everyone would say, oh, your son is so intelligent and he's doing so well and so forth. She would say, no, he's not. He's just got book knowledge, but he's not intelligent. Because she had 2 sons, me and my younger brother. My younger brother was not interested in academic studies and so forth, but he was naturally bright, naturally intelligent. He would know, solutions to problems. I needed to know what a book said. If I came across a problem, what does any theory say about the solution to it? And if I want to know a way how to improve my business, what is the latest known strategies, right? I have to learn something, right? I had my level of intelligence in terms of what I could learn. And that's why I spent my time learning a lot to make up for not being too bright, right? So did it increase my IQ in that sense? No. But if I write an IQ test, is it significantly higher? Because of the way in which it's written, they're using it as a measure of your IQ, and in that sense, right? So yes and no, it can improve your IQ, right? It can improve your success levels. So I've experienced a lot of success in business, and especially in making money, right? I wanted to earn $1 million a month. I earn $1 million a month for 4 years consistently in a row, right? I wanted to, get a very high asset-based level, right? That fraction of a percentage, of the population, or just a very small percent, single digit, right? Numbers of the populations attained, and I've attained those levels as well, right? From an asset-based point of view. And in terms of, being number one, or, attaining things that are almost impossible. And, and I always believed that there's no such word as impossible, that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, right? Conceive and believe. Also believe, right? That conception in the mind, it will achieve if you strive towards it seriously, right? So whatever I strove towards achieving, whatever goal I strove towards achieving, I attained that. And I attribute that to very strongly to my practice of the yoga sciences, right? So to develop yourself intellectually or cognitively, rightly said, right? Because I still believe I'm not an intelligent person. I'm not, as you say, not that brilliant, I'll put it that way. And I understand that, right? But I attained everything, but not quickly because I'm not that bright. Maybe you, if you practice, you're going to be able to achieve your goals, much quicker. It took me certain goals 40 years to one of the goals 40 years to achieve, and you can probably do it in 2 years or so, or 10 years or so. Took some goals like business goals 9 years to achieve, 6 years to achieve, some goals. And it's a long time, for very simple things, but I stuck to it. I was persistent, and I didn't let go until that. It's either my motto normally is, it's either I'm going to achieve it or die trying, right? When I set a goal, and I don't let go of it, and I make a serious commitment of, I ingrain it in my mind, and I'm not going to forget it for my rest of my life. So I think carefully before I set a goal, because I'm not going to forget it. It's either I'm going to attain it, achieve it, or die trying. And that has brought me about attaining things that I never imagined possible. I lived a life beyond what I could dream, so to speak. So maybe I had small dreams, right? Maybe, right? And but I promise you, I really, when I explain to one of my very close friends these days, he always says, Osman, you lived life. And when I hear the stories you say and the things you've experienced and what you've had, and it's like I feel like nothing and useless, and like I haven't attained anything. No, I lived a very adventurous life and lived my life like an adventure, and attained all what I wanted, whatever I wanted to achieve, and attained. And I really, whatever my heart felt, I went for everything and got everything. Whatever was in my heart, I found full expression. There's nothing in my soul or my heart that is nagging. My bucket list is completed decades ago, right? My bucket list is completed decades ago, so to speak. And I feel a sense of inner peace and satisfaction always. If ever I'm going to die at any time or think, I always tell people that know me, know that I've lived my life, to the satisfaction, of my soul, so to speak, long ago, decades ago. And I am living life by the day mindfully. I'm enjoying each day, right? And of course, doesn't mean I don't have goals. I'm having my goals as an adventure, not as something that I need to attain. And if I don't attain, there's something unfulfilled. No, I'm fine, and but I want to go to the next level. I don't want to stagnate as a human. It is, as a human, we have a responsibility to improve on ourselves, right? Because the world is always improving. Technologies are improving. AI is coming. We also need, if it's either step up or get left behind, right? So we have to keep stepping up, right? So I feel yoga and meditation, or the yoga field, is a great tool that could help you in your efforts to stepping up, whether it be in your health, whether it be in your finances, in your career goals, or your personal fitness goals, or your sport goals, attaining certain strength goals, right? You're gonna find a good friend in yoga. So thank you very much. Please remember to visit my website, yogawellness786.com, for more information on yoga, meditation, energy healing, nutrition, wellness, and blogs on current day related matters from the ancient sciences and a modern perspective, day to day, trending perspectives as well in my blogs, information, then also to be able to contact and connect with me. And also remember that our therapies are not a replacement for medical treatment. And if you have a medical condition, please consult a registered and licensed a qualified medical practitioner, right? Or preferably your own doctor, right? For that. And we provide complementary, not alternative, complementary therapies that's going to greatly improve or slightly improve your chances of your improving your experience of life, or improving your capacity to overcome any challenges that you may be experiencing physically or psychologically or spiritually. So take care always, and goodbye.